जय श्री जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। आजानुलंबित भुजौ कनकावदातौ संकीर्तनैकपितरौ कमलायताक्षौ विश्वंभरौ द्विजवरौ युगधर्मपालौ वन्दे जगत्प्रियकरौ करुणावतारौ। Welcome everyone to this transcendental program of studying Bhagavad Dharma, Param Dharma. We are presently studying the Sikshastakam, 8 slokas, 8 prayers by Caitanya Mahaprabhu. In the mood is a devotee, and in a very sequential way, Mahaprabhu has addressed the 3 stages of bhakti: the sadhana bhakti stage, bhav bhakti stage, and the prema bhakti stage. The first 4 slokas we discussed, they describe the sadhana bhakti, in which all the necessary requirements to decondition a conditioned soul. Basically, the practice. Then, because the actual swarup of bhakti is bhava, and bhakti, because its swarup, its identity is bhava, that's why it is by nature spontaneous. Until the bhakti or our practice, our sadhana of this on this path of pure devotional service comes to attains the nature of spontaneity, it has not actually come to the actual position of bhakti. Sadhan bhakti, within which the Vaidhi bhakti, the directions of the scriptures and the directions of the saintly persons, a conditioned soul follows to purify himself, to qualify for pure devotional service, or ultimately even to achieve the spontaneity level. In the previous sloka, we touched just the external, or the first, or initial hankering of a conditioned soul, seeing one's position is very precarious in this material entanglement. He really identifies Krishna's lotus feet as the only shelter to be hankered after. Ai Nanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patitam Mam Visham. And very specifically, Mahaprabhu pinpointing the specific taking shelter of the Lord, the concept is Krishna. Nanda Tanuja, one who is celebrated as the son of Nanda Maharaj. That means in the Braja Bhakti. So that is the, and naturally when somebody is addressed with his connection to his father, then it is very, very attractive, correct? If somebody comes to us with some connection with our father, then that address is very, very attractive, very, very appealing rather. So in a very appealing way, a devotee address Krishna. Krishna means in Braj, in Golok, in Gokul, Vrindavan, where he is celebrated as the son of Nanda Maharaj. That he be sheltered even as a very insignificant dust particle at the lotus feet of the Lord. But when that prayer is granted, just imagine a devotee, because when something, when someone is approaching the highest entity, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then naturally the applicant or the supplicator must express his genuine humility and sense of utter incapacitatedness, insignificance, smallness. Dainya. Dainya means the sense of destitute, that without the shelter of the Lord, one feels so much in destitute. There's, there's no life without him. Now, when that connection is established, because naturally we know that the Lord is very merciful. And the Lord also desires that every living entity, why he or she has to suffer in this material entanglement. But since Lord is ever ready to provide the eternal blissful atmosphere under the shelter of his lotus feet, in his realm, which is governed by the internal potencies, which are all so wonderfully engaged in providing the joy, not only for the Supreme Lord, but also those who are very willingly, very lovingly engaged in the service of the Lord to increase his pleasure. So it's a very, very wonderful win-win situation. Now, what happens? Do you think the relationship with the Lord is only to become a dust particle under the feet of the Lord? Because by very Swarupa, the living entity is very much inclined to serve, not to just remain inactive or rather static. To remain static even at the feet of the Lord is not the most, even potentially, or even in accordance to our Swarupa, one doesn't want to just remain static. Although the position is very safe and free from all the inebrities, all the imperfections, and all the calamities and the attacks of the three modes of material nature, no doubt. But getting connection, getting a touch of the Supreme Lord's lotus feet, it causes something very wonderful. It increases the greed. So although one wanted just to begin with to enter that realm of divine protection of the lotus feet of the Lord, but is not settled just there. He wants something more, hankering for something more. But that hankering is only in accordance to the highest potential of the soul. That is what Mahaprabhu is revealing in today's sloka. It's very so. The initial stage of bhava bhakti, and this is like the potent or the mature stage of bhava bhakti being revealed here. Slok number 6. Nayanam galadashru dharaya vadanam gad gad ruddhaya gira pulkair nichitam vapu kada tavanam grahane bhavishyati. Nayanam galadashru dharaya tavanam grahane bhavishyati. While taking your holy name, when will this condition happen to me? Is something one is so much attracted. Attracted to whom? Those who are involved with the Lord. Once one has taken once one's hankering to find the shelter of the lotus feet has been granted, now the devotee is seeing that those who are having wonderful loving exchange with the Lord, so there is much more he is exposed to, and he just cannot settle just being an inactive particle of dust at the feet of the Lord. So When will my eyes be filled with a stream of tears? When will tears will flow from my eyes like a waves, profusely, incessantly. Nayanam galadashtu dharya, vadanam gadagada ruddhaya gira. And my voice will tremble in ecstasy, trembling or choking up, Gadagada ruddhaya gira. Ruddhaya gira means, gadagad means trembling and ruddhaya means choking up. Pulakai nichitam vapukada. When will the hairs, pulakai means hair, pores on the skin, Pulakai nichitam. Hairs of my body will stand erect in ecstasy while chanting your holy name. So this is the this is the motivation, or this is the addition to his hankering in the previous sloka. So we can see that a devotee is not merely satisfied with little dose of mercy. Rather, that little dose of mercy, the first initial where he found the shelter, he has digested that mercy. And when the mercy is digested, what happens? He becomes more hungry, more greedy for more mercy. So in this verse, the devotee's prayer means what he prayed in the previous sloka has been granted, and he acquired a safe haven position in that eternal realm, shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, Krishna's domain. But now he is not. He just cannot remain static. Now he is becoming more ambitious, and his ambition, as we will see in the progression now from now onward, that we'll see that his ambition has no limit. No limit means no. That means that no stage in our progressive journey of pure devotional service we become static, no matter what elevated stage we may have reached, because bhakti is eternal process, eternal activity. Apratihata, uninterrupted, means it is flowing. It doesn't take a break that, yes, we have performed for these many years, these many months, these many hours, and now let us take a break. Apratihata, unbreakable. And that's why now the ambition, whatever has been experienced in whatever level one is, but he wants to continue more and more and more. That's why his ambition has no end. Although he has been granted a safe position, but he is praying for further promotion. Do you think that it is allowed to hanker for promotion? Of course, because the flow of bhakti, the progression in bhakti, it has no end. And more we grow in our power, more we excel in our sentiments, and ultimately, the more Krishna reciprocates. So since Krishna does not stop reciprocating, so the devotee also prays for further promotion. Okay, I'm ready for more, my Lord. What more? So and there in that realm, he is not alone. So he is in the company of other stalwart great devotees, and naturally, seeing the joy of the Lord and joy of other devotees, he is hankering for more promotion. And there is so much unlimited variegatedness of devotional exchange with the devotees in different rasas, from Shanta rasa. So that being a dust particle at the feet of the Lord is like in Shanta rasa. despite, appreciation. Okay, I'm in the safe zone. But then one finds his attraction toward those who are devoted in servitude, those who are devoted in friendship, those who are devoted in parental affinity, those who are devoted in conjugal exchange. So he's hankering for further promotion. First, he aspired only for an insignificant position as the dust under the soles of the Supreme Lord. And Krishna says, yes, no problem. So that hankering, that desire was granted. But as that desire was granted, what happened? The living entity got the touch of the soul of the lotus feet of Krishna. Now if some magical effect transpires, as if some, when the touchstone when touches, then what magic happens? The thing turns into gold. So can you imagine the power or potency, transcendental or the loving potency of the touch of Krishna's lotus feet? Believe me. Is the devotee at fault that he first aspired for something very insignificant? Just provide me shelter at your lotus feet. Now after getting the touch, if he transforms, the transformation took place like a magic wand. What the devotee can do? So it is automatic. It is just he has no control. Automatically, the higher desire or demand automatically comes, because devotee himself is wondering, what's happened to me? What is this? I prayed only to be a dust particle at the feet of the Lord, but what can I do now? What I feel within me after getting the touch of the Lord, the very touch of your lotus feet has been converted into something that, like dust, has become converted into something very, very amazing, inconceivable substance. The living entity, as it is compared to particle, that is only to establish its insignificance and smallness, minuteness, everything. But as far as its disposition in accordance to its swarup is concerned, it is wonderful. It is not limited to the function of literally a dust. The living entity is a candidate to, he has the potential to become the object of attraction for the Supreme Lord. However insignificant, however incapacitated, but being part and parcel of Krishna, he has the potential to become the object of attraction for Krishna. He has the potential to bring the joy for Krishna in some capacity. And that is what he is hankering. He wants the fulfillment of his heart in accordance to his Swarupa, is the eternal part of Krishna. So the devotee himself is wondering, how is that I have been transformed? I thought I would be all right, settled, being just a dust particle. But what has happened to me? I have been transformed. Now I find that my demand is for much greater intimacy. I want to be so close. Just don't want to remain hidden under the sole of the lotus feet of the Lord. I want to come up and have some exchange, loving exchange. First, I aspired for just small servitude, okay? Just to be close with you, just as a servant. But now, by the magical touch of your lotus feet, this desire has popped up in my heart to have more intimacy. It's like a spontaneous attraction. Spontaneous attraction. And what kind of spontaneous attraction? spontaneous attraction, when it comes to raga, raga bhakti. Raga bhakti is only in relation to Krishna. Do we hear raga bhakti in relation to the Supreme Lord, who is with four-handed, like Narayan from Vaikuntha, or Lord Nrsingadev, or Lord Ramchandra, anybody? Spontaneous attraction or intimacy is possible only with Krishna, with no one else. you know, because Krishna's a human-like appearance and pastimes, perfectly suited this human form, his original form is perfectly suited for his human-like pastimes on earth. Yanmartyalilopaikam swayoga maya balam darshayita grihitam vismapanam swasya cha saubhagarde param padam bhushana bhushanangam. To fulfill the purpose of his manifestation or manifesting in this world is fully comes to fruition or completion because of this manifestation of him in his original Krishna form. Yan Marti Lilopaikam, very much conducive in accordance or according to requirement of his human-like pastimes on this earth. And this is how he draws the attraction of all people, whosoever happens to see Krishna, they are just drawn to him, attracted to him in whatever sentiments. They are primary five rasas: Shanta, Rasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya, Madhur, and the five uparasas: Hashya, Raudra, etc. So everybody is able to spontaneously, everybody is just cannot help but be drawn towards Krishna in some aspects, in some kind of sentiment. This is. So when we talk about spontaneity or raga bhakti, only Krishna conception comes. Although Krishna and all other manifestations of Godhead, Swansha, they are non-different in identity. Siddhantatas abhedopi. In identity, Krishna and all, like especially Shri means the goddess of fortune, Isha means the Lord. So who is the Lord of the goddess of fortune? Celebrated Sriman Narayan Vaikuntha Jagat, the Lord of opulence. Embodiment of opulence is a Vaikuntha Jagat. But there, the relation between a devotee and the Lord is very much overpowered by this opulence aspect, and that's why the intimacy is very difficult to be practiced, because the strained out distance between the Lord is too great and I'm this devotee. That much relation is developed. That's why neither to Narayan. So Siddhantatas abhedopi Sri Krishna Swarupayo. Abhedopi means non-different. There is no difference as far as identity of Sriman Narayan, the form, or any other form, Narsinga, Varaha, Ram, and Krishna. In identity, they are one. They are all one Supreme Personality of Godhead. They are not different Supreme Personality. Supreme cannot be dual. Non-dual. They are all non-dual, one entity, the Supreme. But Rasenot Karshate Krishna Rupam Esha Rasasti. But from the viewpoint of rasa, rag or melo, or the exchange, as by exchange between the Lord and the devotee is concerned, the Krishna Rupa is such that it puts Krishna in a very superior. Rasenot Karshate, Utkarshate means in superior position. The Krishna form of Godhead is puts him in a superior position compared to others. Rasenot karshate Krishna rupam esha rasasthiti. The position of rasa or melo or exchange is such that it puts Krishna in a superior position. So when we see spontaneous attraction can only be in Krishna. And we find that the spontaneous connection from, there is no one, no entity in the whole universe who would not be somehow or other be attracted to Krishna. It cannot help but be attracted to Krishna. Even the Rakshasa Asuras who were so attracted to Krishna, even to kill him. You know that only in Krishna form, even the demons or the Asuras, under different pretexts or taking different Mayavi forms, they came to Krishna to be killed. They were so obsessively attracted to Krishna that Krishna didn't have to leave Gokul. Krishna didn't have to leave, you know, to go and kill the demons. All the demons, they were just inevitably, invariably, so much attracted to Krishna, even with that intense or obsessive desire to kill Krishna. Krishna wouldn't go, but they were all drawn to Krishna. In other incarnations, like Lord Ramchandra, Narasimha, right, etc., they had to go after the demons and kill them. Lord Ramchandra went out of Ayodhya to Sri Lanka to kill Ravana. Lord Narasimha had to also come from his Vaikuntha and appear here. He came to Hiranyakashipu. Varahadev also went to Hiranyaksha, like this. You can see that. But in case of Krishna alone, all the demons, they came, they were spontaneously attracted to Krishna. So, Krishna means all attractive. No? Krishna means one who is worshipped by divine love and affection. He is the king of affection, all attractive. The center of attraction, center of affection and love. So the devotee, although he started off with a very humble and praying to Krishna to rescue him from the precarious entanglement in the material world and just provide just shelter even as a dust under his lotus feet. But after getting the touch of Krishna, his whole conception of devotion changed. He simply doesn't want to remain just inactive or uninvolved. He wants to become involved. And he was graced by the demand for more intimacy. One could have said, hey, you have got what you wanted, just stay there as a dust, And Krishna said, just don't bother with me, I have others to be in my relationship in different. You just wish to be a dust and you have been given, but because the magical effect of the touch of Krishna's lotus feet caused that fervor to have intimacy and attraction towards Krishna. So his further desire is also like granted, grace him. And because of that, in today's sloka, the fervor is very, very amazing. So when the promotion comes, then the nature of a prayer also changes. No? And so the magical effect is of the touch of Krishna's feet. And he wonders also, what is this? I can't check my tears. I'm hankering for something much, much more than just being as a dust particle at your lotus feet. And the hankering which is being expressed through the tears coming out of the eyes, and they are coming incessantly. And So in the crying, what happens? When you cry out only the name, correct? Mostly. So, with the tears coming out of his eyes incessantly, and he's crying out Krishna's name. And the crying out Krishna's name in this ecstasy is causing him to lose his control. That is the point. See, Pulakai Nichitam Vapu Kada. He's so overwhelmed with loving emotions as he chants, expressing his hankering for further or intimate involvement with the Lord. So this kind of hankering is making him lose control. He feeling like somebody just shaking him up, some interference has come. But this is the nature of this is the effect of taking the name of Krishna in pure hankering, no? As if something is pulling him, pushing him towards Krishna, you know. And that way, a devotee loses his normal condition, and his because now he cannot control his emotions to remain just remain under Krishna's lotus feet only. Actually, he's aspiring, he's hankering to be raised to the higher standard. Actually, he feels that Krishna's name is making him dance. Krishna's name is making him lose control. His name is making him travel to a different, higher realm. So now, if he has lost control, then what to do? Krishna has to, and because this hankering or this desire is very much within his adhikar. Adhikar means adhikar comes because of the relationship. So living entity is a relationship. Swarup is eternal servant of Krishna. So the service can be hankered after in different mellows. That's the point. But ultimately, it's the effect of the touch of Krishna's lotus feet. So the devotee is crying that my aspiration is that take me to something more. Ye dil mange more. There used to be a billboard in India, some Pepsi or some soft drink, some very famous person or sports person or hero. Ye dil mange more. The heart is hankering for much more. Now I'm not only that I'm not satisfied just merely being connected to you or in your safe haven under the shelter of your lotus feet, but when I after feeling the effect of the touch of your lotus feet, my aspiration has changed, because he sees now the different dispositions of Krishna in relation to different devotees. So he is also saying, since I have come in your realm, why I cannot also join that variegated in servitude, in friendship, in parental affinity, in conjugal. So the aspiration of devotee has changed. Many devotees are engaged in your service, in chanting your holy name. And seeing this, my hopes have also been raised. I want to be lifted to that position. Which position? Where you are more intimately involved. So being merely with the Lord is not enough, correct? How much one gets to be with the Lord and having exchange with Him. Merely being in the abode of the Lord is not it. So there are four kinds of liberations, in which the devotee also means when they are transferred. Sasti, Samipya, Salokya, and Swarupya. Samipya is means having the closeness with the Lord in a personal associate. That is the best. Merely be Salokya, having the same abode as the Lord, just like the previous position, shelter in the abode of the Lord, in that realm, safe zone. Or having the same opulence as the Lord, having the same form as the Lord, but to have the closeness with the Lord, that is more. So here we can see that the devotee is hankering for the more closeness, more intimate exchange with the Lord. Because this is the effect of the touch of Krishna's lotus feet. Your connection has given me such thirst. I want to be handled by you. Correct? I want to have some exchange with you, not just remaining uninvolved at all. No. I want to be handled by you. Play with me as you like in your own way. My heart hankers after such a relationship with you. When I chant your holy name with this kind of feeling, I find that see the touch of the devotees seeing that my previous conception has changed and my new hankering is for the standard of spontaneous love. Spontaneous love means bhav bhakti. And attachment is the first sprout of the bhav bhakti. In this sloka, basically, the devotee is praying that you lift me into that plane of your divine affection and love. This is basic outline. But this shloka, because it explains the real nature of bhakti or the bhav bhakti. So very systematically, with the help of Rupa Goswami, as he describes the nature and the characteristics of bhav bhakti and how we also develop the hankering at least to come to that stage. Systematic procedure and the sadhana has been outlined in our scriptures. That we must be able to benefit from. We have studied in Bhakti Samit Sindhu the nine stages of this bhakti or pure devotional service, starting from Adau Shraddha, Tata Sadhu Sangha, the systematic development of bhakti. And this 5 and 6 slokas address the middle stage. At least this 5 and 6 slokas, which purely describe the hankering, bhava, means a devotee feels a tremendous abhava, absence of the Lord in his life. He's feeling so lonely without the presence of the Lord. So he's hankering for the darshan, for the association of the Lord. That is bhava bhakti. So in today's shloka, basically the external symptoms of perfection when one comes to a stage of bhava bhakti, is Mahaprabhu is describing, oh Lord, when will my eyes be filled with a stream of tears? Actually, Mahaprabhu is already in that position and further beyond. But as far as for the aspiring sadhakas like us, we have yet to attain this position, correct? So Mahaprabhu has made it very easy. He has expressed this hankering as if he hasn't got it. So, but we are definitely in that position where we have to hanker to attain that position, that when will my eyes be filled with a stream of tears, when will my voice choke up, and when will the hairs of my body stand erect in ecstasy as I chant your holy name. So we want to be able to experience, we must hanker to be able to experience this state of our chanting, isn't so? So systematically, this आदौ श्रद्धा ततः साधु संगोत है भजन क्रिया ततो अनर्थ निवृत्ति स्यात् ततो निष्ठा रुचि ततः. So up to the stage of ruchi, we can say that is sadhana bhakti, whereby our conscious practice and consciously incorporating chanting time wise, engaging 24 hours in some kind of devotional service. There are many limbs of devotional practices, and according to a different nature of different sadhakas, they may have particular liking for different activities of devotional service, And but when a devotee develops this, comes to the stage of asaktis, that's where this fifth and sixth slokas. Asakti is the first sprout of bhava bhakti. Bhava means sentiments, whether it's spontaneous sentiments, spontaneous attraction. Spontaneous means incessant. Another name for spontaneous is incessant. Incessant remembering. So at the stage of asakti, the attraction for the Lord becomes incessant, isn't it? When a person becomes attached to something, that the remembrance becomes incessant. So that is the stage. So asakti tato bhavas. Asakti is the first sprout, first seed of that spontaneous attraction to Krishna, and it grows and grows and grows and grows. It grows into bhava, intense. That's called also rati. And that bhava, as we are discussing in today's sloka, that is the first, it is the first stage of prema. And when bhava becomes intensified and becomes incessant, it is called prema. Just a incessant attachment is bhava. In the same way, incessant bhava or intensified bhava is called prema. So that is the stage. Asaktis tato bhavas tatah premabhutanjati sadhakanam ayam premna pradurбhave bhavet krama hai. In gradual process, these are the gradual processes, gradual stages one can go through. So the attachment for the Lord, asakti, which you can say the fifth sloka, and finally devotion steeped in feelings of ecstasy, bhava, which is today's sloka, correct? Feelings of ecstasy. When will I be able to experience this? A sadhaka is hankering after this. Ajat Rati sadhaka, when he comes to this kind of hankering, is expressed in today's shloka, that's a very wonderful thing. When we will be able to, when that day will come, when we will be able to hanker just like this. Oh Lord, when will my eyes be filled with a stream of tears? Sometimes they may come in our life, in our some circumstances, under some atmosphere where we really feel that kind of hankering, But we want to have it all the times, It's not that momentarily under some circumstance, we experience such a joy and such a euphoria, such a fervor of love that we say, let me just drown and not come out of it. But as the situation, time passes, we just come out and we just become just like previous. But the devotee is hankering here. Mahaprabhu is hankering, and this should be our hankering also. And when will the hairs of my body stand erect in ecstasy and eyes chant? So these are the external symptoms of this bhava stage. But and in the external symptoms, the transformations which take place, they are described here. So this the symptoms which are expressed by Mahaprabhu are three symptoms. What are three symptoms? That the when will the eyes be filled with a stream of tears? Spontaneously these things happen. No? Then when will my voice choke up? This also happens spontaneously. And then when the hairs of my body stand erect in ecstasy. So these are the three of the 8 symptoms of that bhava. Ashtasatvika bhava. 8 symptoms which are mentioned in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Mahaprabhu is basically, by addressing 3 of them, hinting to all of them, but just these 3 are very, very prominent and very, very, very much visible. So that's why the external symptoms of this perfected stage of Bhava Bhakti is described here. But they are also internal symptoms of Bhava Bhakti. Because external symptoms, whatever transformations are there, they are visible on the body of the person who is doing this Nam Sankirtana. Correct? But they are also internal symptoms. If the external symptoms are already very visible and very prominently described, what is the necessity of describing the internal symptoms? Because the external symptoms, sometimes because they can be imitated. That's why. And because they can be imitated, sometimes they could be big misgiving, sometimes. So one may by some people have weak heart, or just by practice they are able to shed tears, they are able to cry, they are able to tremble and as if like they are in that they have these divine symptoms which are expressed, just as Mahaprabhu said. But if they could be misleading also, and that's why in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Rupa Goswami establishes that one who is truly in bhava, whether the external symptoms are manifest in his body or not, these 9 things will be noticeable in his life. Then he is truly in bhava stage, because the external symptoms, they come for some time, then they leave. But the internal symptoms, they stay all the time. That's why, of course, external symptoms are also naturally spontaneous. They do become manifest, as Mahaprabhu is describing. Mahaprabhu is not saying that they are not good. But if they are not accompanied by the foolproof 9 internal symptoms, then they could be sometime misleading. In Srimad Bhagavatam, in 2nd canto, 3rd chapter, slok number 24, there is a very famous sloka where it is described What is it? Tadashma saram hridayam vatedam yad grihya mane harinam dheyai. Na vikriyetat yada vikaro netre jalam gatra ruheshwas. Very, very wonderful sloka. In a Vyatirek Bhava, the shloka is described that while chanting the holy name of Krishna, if these things don't manifest in the body, in the person who is, that means his heart is stone-hearted. He is stone-hearted. Certainly that heart is still framed, which in spite of one's chanting the holy name, Yadgriyamanam Harinam Dheyai, na vikriyetat. Na vikriya means it doesn't become, it doesn't melt. That in spite of one's chanting the holy name of the Lord with concentration, it does not change when ecstasy takes place. Tears fill the eyes and the hairs stand on end. So this sloka can mean in two ways. That heart is stone-hearted, that while taking the name of Krishna, the tears don't come out of his mouth, from his eyes, you know. Tadashma saram hridayam batetam yad grihyamanair harinam na vikriyeta. The most important is change of heart. Because when the heart changes, that is the main thing. The change of heart or the melting of the heart, that is the constitutional nature of bhava. Bhava literally means a change of heart. If the heart has not changed, if the heart is still trapped with all the anarthas and all the unwanted hankerings and for sense gratification, then it's a very tremendous misgiving, tremendous misrepresentation. It gives a bad impression of those who only express the external symptoms of ecstasy with the tears in the eyes, the pores raised, and voice choking, all these things. So the change, if the heart does not change, in spite, when ecstasy takes place, tears fill the eyes and the hairs stand on end. So, in today's shloka, the three symptoms which Mahaprabhu is expressing or hankering after, when this will happen when I chant the holy name of Lord. But so that is bhava stage. There are 8 symptoms described. What are the 8 symptoms? Inertness, stun, perspiration, standing of hairs on end, failing in the voice, faltering in the voice, trembling, paleness of the body, tears in the eyes, and finally trance, like this. So nectar of devotion so wonderfully describes these things. Rupa Goswami has described what the message which is very, very important for us to imbibe, that how our acharyas and Srila Prabhupada has taken the direction and the explanation of our previous acharyas, how they describe this particular subject matter, because it's very possible that one may be fooled by the external demonstration of these ecstatic symptoms, but they may not be rooted with the change of heart. The heart may be still plagued with all the ulterior motives, and just to impress people and to make cheap show of these ecstatic symptoms. This may be possible. So we are advised that when we associate with devotees, even with the devotees situated externally in bhava stage, whether they are really situated in bhava or not. whether they are imitators or they are real devotees. Because we are not interested in symptoms for cheap appreciation, cheap adoration of others. And it is oftentimes seen that these symptoms in many gathering, and in Bengal especially and other places, there are many professional reciters who are doing Sankirtan, and they just make such a tremendous demonstration of ecstasy, you know. Sometimes all the above 8 symptoms of ecstasy are imitated by the mundane devotees, Prakrita Sahajiyas. Because by practice, because they have earned so much cheap adoration from the people. And among the people, they have to travel and do this show. So people became impressed by these things. Oh, what a divine love is, as if like dancing in front of them. But the pseudo symptoms, although the symptoms appear the same, but the pseudo symptoms are at once detected when one sees the pseudo devotee addicted to so many forbidden things. So unless we associate closely with those people, we do not know that they are really means expressing the real bhava symptoms or just external show. Oftentimes it is seen that those who demonstrate such symptoms, they are pseudo devotees because they are addicted to so many forbidden things. Even though decorated with the signs of a devotee, a person addicted to smoking, drinking, or illegitimate sex with the women cannot have all the above mentioned ecstatic symptoms. So what are the internal symptoms then? Because one cannot be real and have double standards, correct? Externally showing such ecstatic symptoms and internally plagued with so many anarthas and bad habits. So what are the 8 symptoms? What are the internal symptoms? What are these? So that is what we will discuss. If those things are found in a devotee as we associate with him, then we can say that he is in a very, very elevated status. So then we can be saved from the association of those imitators. So that's why Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur calls such pseudo imitators as stone-hearted. That although the tears come from their eyes, they show the thrill and everything, still they remain cloaked to their anarthas, Stone-hearted. They are sometimes even affected by the reflection of such transcendental symptoms. Yet, if they still do not give up the forbidden habits, then they are a hopeless case for transcendental realization. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was traveling in South India, and when he met Ramanand Rai, and then he, after seeing a pure devotee, his eternal associate, the Mahaprabhu, spontaneous ecstatic symptoms were manifesting. But when he saw the people around him, of course, the Lord developed all these symptoms. But because of the presence of some non-devotee Brahmins, the Lord suppressed these symptoms. So devotee, even if out of ecstasy these symptoms want to come out under the circumstances, if the surrounding is not, who will not understand, then we should suppress these symptoms. So sometimes they are not visible even in the body of the first class devotee. That doesn't mean that devotee is not first class. But if we gauge only through external symptoms, we may be also confused. We may consider pseudo devotee as the real devotee and the real devotee as like ordinary devotee. So sometimes they may not be visible even in the body of the first class devotee for certain circumstantial reasons. Therefore, real steady bhava is definitely displayed if these internal symptoms are visible or observed in a sadhaka. What are they? First is kshanti. Kshanti means cessation of material desires. Kshanti. Kshanti has two. It can be described in two ways. Kshanti means freedom from kshobha. Kshobha means dukkha. If some big loss takes place, some big loss or the beloved passes away, any loss, monetary loss or the loss of prestige or loss of the dear ones, even in that position, a person remains unperturbed. He has that much sahan shakti, such a tolerance that he remains unperturbed even under the circumstance of big external loss of the money or the wealth or prestige or dear ones. So tolerance, that is called kshanti, or cessation of material desires. One who is free from material hankering is also called kshanti. Kshanti abhyartha kalitvam. Abhyartha kal means he does not waste even one moment which is not engaged in the service of Krishna. Utilization of every moment in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. So first kshanti, second abhyartha kalatvam, then virakti. Virakti means detachment from mundane affairs, mundane hankering, mundane aspirations. Virakti. Virakti, mana shunyata. Same thing, ne? Viraktir mana shunyata. Mana shunyata means pridelessness. Then asha bandha, a firm hope of attaining Bhagavan Krishna. That I will, because his bond with the Lord is so established in spontaneous sentiments that to attaining the Supreme, attaining his association, attaining his service, that's the only hope in his mind. And that hope frees him from all other aspirations, hankerings, or expectations from this world. Then naturally, that exclusive akanksha or asha becomes so strong that he survives through it. Undying hope to attaining the Supreme. Utkantha, intense longing for the Lord. Then Nam Gane Sadaruchi. Eagerness for glorifying the Lord constantly. Nam Gane Sadaruchi. Asaktistat Gunakhyane. Then he has attachment for hearing and chanting the qualities of Krishna. These are the symptoms we will find in a devotee who is truly situated in bhava stage, in the middle stage. Asaktistat Gunakhyane, then Pritistad Vasati Sthale, attraction for living in the land of Krishna. Love for the places where the Lord enacted his transcendental pastimes. So this change of heart is a big deal. But without the change of the heart, one may be celebrated due to cheap adoration of common masses who are ignorant about the real real transcendental glory of pure devotional service. And that's why, so this change of heart is the most important thing we must try to appreciate. Now, this Bhav Bhakti, of course, some technical aspect. What is its constitutional nature of Bhava? When somebody asks, what is the constitutional nature of Bhava? It's in a layman's language. Technical description, definition is given in the scriptures, If we go so much into deep in the technical aspect, it would be like just like some kind of, you know, some kind of educational class. But we are trying to aspire for the Bhav Bhakti. So so Bhav means change of the heart, as we discussed this already. So when the heart becomes melted by ruchi, our real taste in something in the Lord, what happens? Heart becomes melted. The heart melting means heart wants to flow. The raga, the the raga means the taste. Raga means attachment. The attachment of the heart wants to run after the Lord. So that is the melting of the heart. So when the heart becomes melted by ruchi, or in other words, an intense longing to attain the Supreme, to see the Lord, to meet the Lord, to be able to serve Him. So this longing, lobha, tatta laulyam api mulyam. So when the heart becomes melted, an intense longing to attain the Lord manifests in the heart. Previous to that stage, it's called sadhana bhakti. Now, while doing sadhana bhakti, then the anarthas are removed, and one feels a spontaneous attraction, spontaneous longing manifests in the heart of the devotee for the Lord. Now it is called bhav bhakti. So apparently, Vaidhi bhakti or sadhana bhakti and bhav bhakti may appear the same externally, but the difference is in the longing. One may perform sadhana bhakti even without any sense or feeling of longing. Correct? Possible? So when our as we participate in different features of sadhana, and our taste develops, and we develop the longing. So longing is synonymous with attachment. So that is the thing. So now, bhav bhakti, basically change of heart or the melting of the heart. And the heart melts or changes in the purified state. I'm just trying to explain bhav bhakti in the easiest way we have appreciated. So this melting of the heart, like the Shravanadi Shuddha Chitte Karayate. So melting of the heart or purified state of heart, because heart has become stone-hearted, na? Because of the anarthas and plagued with so many ulterior motives. But when the heart melts only for the Lord, that is the purified state of heart. So the purified state of heart is called Vishuddha Sattva. Because and what is Vishuddha Sattva? Vishuddha Sattva is the agency of the Swarup Shakti. The Sadhini Sandhini Samvit. Vishuddha Sattva the purified state of the heart, the melted heart. And in the melted heart, the bhakti, or which is the active principle of Hladini Shakti. These are very technical terms. What is the function of Hladini Shakti? That it is constantly engaged in increasing the joy of Krishna. Of course, Krishna is experiencing joy in his Swarupa. Atmaram is also, all the potencies of Krishna are providing, engage 24/7 to increase his joy. But this Hladini Shakti is always trying to connect to the new candidates. That's why this Hladini Shakti, but it becomes captured or becomes registered in the Shuddha state, Shuddha, what is it? Vishuddha Sattva stage. So when a sadhak heart becomes purified through the constant or sufficient purely chanting of the holy name, Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem Sadhya Kabunai, Shravanadi Shuddha Chitte Karai Uday. This concept is very, very clear. Shravanadi Shuddha Chitte Karai Uday. This Hladini potency is always like sprinkling everywhere, because it is trying to connect new candidates for love. So when a devotee or sadhaka, when he attains the stage of melting of the heart or changing of the heart, his heart attains the stage of, or his chitta attains the stage of Vishuddha Sattva. And Vishuddha Sattva, in the Vishuddha state, Sattva position, the Hladini gets connected. Without coming to the stage of Vishuddha Sattva or purified heart or melted heart, the Hladini Shakti would not get connected. And so when the Vishuddha Sattva and Hladini Shakti get connected, it is called Prem. And so it is the agency through which the Lord and his paraphernalia are revealed to the devotees. Yes. So this is the function of this Vishuddha Sattva. So we can see that Bhav is completely out of this world. Bhav is transcendental thing. It's completely beyond the influence of material nature. And that's why Bhav is compared to the first ray of Prema Bhakti. So what we have discussed in today's shloka, that that's why Rupa Goswami says that bhakti is rarely achieved. That is describing this bhav bhakti, because bhakti only at the stage of bhava attains its true nature, actual nature. Before the stage of bhava or asakti, which is the first sprout of bhakti, is just a time pass bhakti or imitation bhakti, or just to make the candidate eligible, or to modify, bring the necessary change through the purificatory process. So this Vishuddha Sattva is the purified state of the heart, melted of the heart, where all the anarthas, all the unwanted hankeries are wiped out, and one is able to hanker after, pray after, cry after Krishna incessantly. So there is one beautiful song sung by Bhakti Vinod Thakur with regard to this Bhav Bhakti, how in utter humility a devotee is hankering for something so sublime. So in Dainya Bhav, in Gitavali, where it says, Aparadha phale mama chitta bhelo vajra samay tuya name na labhe vikar hatashe haye hari tab naam uchche kori bada dukhe daki bare bare. I'm crying out again and again to you as a result of my offenses. So this is the status, this is the conscious, this is the uttering, this is the expression of a devotee or sadhaka who is on the bhava stage. In bhava stage, only one is able to express like this. As a result of my offenses, my heart has become as hard as a thunderbolt. Consequently, it does not melt even slightly when I chant your holy name. See the big paradox. Only a person whose heart has melted, he feels like this. What a tremendous paradox. Because even when his heart has melted, he is not able to see the object of his aspiration. He is not able to see the Lord face to face. He is not able to render the personal service of the Lord. So even though he is crying and not being able to fulfill his uh, aspiration of seeing the Lord or attaining his service, he is crying that as a result of my offenses, my heart has become as hard as a thunderbolt. Believe me, one whose heart is as hard as thunderbolt, will he ever say that my heart is as hard as thunderbolt? No. Because a person whose heart is as hard as thunderbolt, he will not have any sentiments like this. We can appreciate this paradox. The day I will consider myself truly as fallen, at that point, I have stopped being fallen. Who will never fall? Although we are all fallible, who will never fall? Who always thinks of himself as fallible. See the paradox? But one who forgets that he is fallible, he has good chance to fall down. In the same way, when the devotee's heart has changed, he is melted, but because in the devotional, pure devotional power, he is not able to see the Lord face to face or attain his service. So he's thinking, it is my offenses, and my heart has become as hard as a thunderbolt. Consequently, it does not melt even slightly when I chant your holy name. A person who may be already crying and profusely tears are flowing from your eyes, still is saying like this, oh Lord, now I am feeling very despondent, being very aggrieved with distress. I'm calling your name again and again. You are very merciful. Kindly give me just a single drop of ecstatic love and save my agitated life. When will that auspicious day arrive when, upon chanting your holy name, a stream of tears will flow from my eyes? When will my throat become choked up, causing my words to become garbled? You know? When will the hairs of my body stand erect due to ecstasy? When will I become soaked with perspiration? When will the limbs of my body begin to tremble? O Lord, when will my body become stunned, becoming overwhelmed with bhava? When will my color fade? And when at last will I lose all consciousness? Regaining my consciousness once again, I will maintain this life simply by taking shelter of your holy name. Crying incessantly, this Bhakti Vinod, who is devoid of all intelligence, says, will there ever be such a day for this unfortunate soul? You know. So the whole idea is, when it's, crying out in such feeling the name of Krishna, you know, Krishna, Govinda, Rama, and performing Sankirtan, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you know, is, is directly calling upon the Lord, and especially remembering Krishna's merciful pastimes, that how merciful the Lord is. So, but here we can see that because the Lord, in the previous sloka, he addressed Ainanda Tanuja, the son of Nanda Maharaj. So naturally, all the pastimes of the Lord which were manifest in Brajbhumi, in Vrindavan, so that the Krishna connection is very prominently felt by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So should we. We should also call upon Krishna in Nam Sankirtan, all the remembering and glorifying the glories of Krishna's pastimes which manifest in Vrindavan. Because Vrindavan is a land of love. So naturally, all the loving pastimes, intimate pastimes were conducted, only Krishna playing the flute and Krishna dancing and playing, and especially with the gopis and Radharani. So naturally, we find that when there is a discussion of Hari Katha or Krishna Katha, the heart may become melted, giving rise to the 8 sattvic bhavas, such as shedding of the ears, shedding of the tears, trembling of the bodily limbs, standing of the hair on the end, and so on. So it should be real. It is not that some people may have the acquired nature, Especially, it is said in the society that ladies have natural tendency. They can shed tears very easily, Well, it's a good symptom to the tears come out of someone's heart, So especially when Hari Katha is heard and Krishna's loving and most merciful pastime, where the mercy of Krishna is expressed upon his loving devotees, and if we hear such pastimes, then tears should come in our eyes also. But that should also attract our attention that we can have that fortune where we can also have an exchange, the desire, hankering to be in direct touch and exchange, dealing with Krishna. It's not merely that we keep on distance. We hear Krishna Katha and hear his loving exchange with devotees, shed the tears, and then we go home and we go in our surrounding. We shed tears as we shed tears in our mundane affairs, In mundane affairs also, somebody has some loss or something, and people cry out. But our crying should be for Krishna. So, what else to our bhava should be real. And it would be checked, gaze through those 9 internal symptoms, that we remain unperturbed by the situations of this material world. Some loss comes, or some dear ones we become bereft of, and still we remain attached to Krishna in fervor. We don't waste time. We always remain engaged in glorifying attachment to the pastimes of the Lord. We have tremendous asakti, and we have loving attraction for the abode of the Lord. All these 9 symptoms, they are the internal or the main symptoms of bhava compared to the external symptoms of bhava, which are manifest in the body of the person who is at the stage of bhava, like Mahaprabhu demonstrated. But we should also be very careful that such symptoms don't become cheap demonstration, but they should be accompanied by the real internal symptoms of bhava, which are the primary symptoms. So I think we can stop today and invite some comments, additions, questions, etc. Should be all right. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Pranam Shri Guru. Hare Krishna. So beautiful, amazing. And I was always in this dilemma that actually, if we cry or actually we see someone crying, what it is. And so beautifully you explained everything. Thank you so much, Shri Guru. One question I wanted to ask, all these bhav and ashru, everything, whatever you explained, is this possible that directly we get all symptoms towards the Lord, or first we get these symptoms towards our spiritual master, Shri Guru?
You know, ecstasy one feels when naturally attraction is there out of culture, also out of our sanskar and surrounding. You know, as practicing devotees, we appreciate such symptoms. And when we see manifest in some devotee, then the devotee appears very glorified. So naturally, who doesn't like to be glorified? Of course, if such symptoms or the attraction is for anything which is in relation with the Supreme, correct? If you study these 9 symptoms of internal symptoms of bhava, asaktis-tad gunakhyana priti-tad vasati sthale, shantir avyartha kalatvam viraktir man shunyata आशा बंध समुत्कंठा नाम गाने सदा रुचि आसक्तिस्तद गुणा खाने प्रीतिस्तद वसति स्थले. So these symptoms are in relation with the Supreme. So those who are non-different, those who are situated in the Swarup Shakti of Krishna. So the pure devotee is spiritual master because of their heart is in Vishuddha Sattva. So they have that Hladini Shakti connection, you know. So Preeti is in the heart of the pure devotee or the spiritual master. So if our heart goes for that person who is in the purified, one whose heart is purified, then we also get sankraman, we also become infected with that Preeti. Because pure devotee's heart position become the depository or repository of prema. Correct? And Bhagavad Bhakti, Bhagavad Bhakta Sangena Parijayate. Bhagavad Bhakti, Bhagavad Bhakta means in whose heart the Vishuddha Sattva status has become manifest. Shravanadi Shuddha Chitte Kare. The purified heart The Vishuddha Sattva and the Hladini is connected, which Prem or Preeti. Preeti or Prem is manifest in the heart of a pure devotee. So if you find our attraction and appreciation and sentiment for such a devotee, then effect is the same. Like Rupa Goswami describes that as many limbs of devotion are described for the Supreme Lord, almost all the limbs can be utilized in the worship of his devotee. Almost all, you know, except certain things like we don't offer tulsi to the lotus feet of the spiritual master, correct? So certain things. So prayer means almost all, in almost all the ways, all the limbs of pure devotional service to the Supreme can be utilized, engaged in the worship of the spiritual master, pure devotee also. So to express loving or the bhava in appreciation of a pure devotee will give the same effect. Because he's non-different, you know. The question again comes because we tend to we naturally tend to separate them. Although the scripture says Sakshat Hari, correct? But we forget that is Sakshat, he is a customized Hari manifest in our life. So he is not different in that regard. Rather, is the direct manifestation of the Supreme Lord, who in his Swayam Roop is unmanifest or indirect to us. So in order to experience what it would be like to be with the Supreme, we can express, or we can demonstrate our devotional fervor in many ways, even even expressing this eightfold sattvic bhavas, some of them even. So it will have the same effect. Correct? Good question.
Thank
Hare
you
Krishna.
so much, sir. Yeah.
Okay, one any more. All right then.
Hare Krishna, Shri Guru. Dandavat Pranam, Shri Guru.
Hare Krishna. Very good.
Yes, fascinating satsang, Shri Guru. Really stunning, Shri Guru. And the transformation from the lotus feet of the Lord, or becoming a dust particle to the lotus feet of the Lord, and this hankering for more, and this sort of ecstatic hankering for devotional engagement and seva. Such a huge transformation, Shri Guru, such a huge leap, and really hearing from your divine wisdom, Shri Guru, this message of Sikshastakam, amazing, and was very sweet to see Shri Guru, so attractive. Like Lord Ramchandra appeared and he went to Lanka to kill Ravana. Narsinga Bhagwan appeared and killed Hiranyakashipu. But Krishna is so attractive, even demons become attractive, attracted by him, hearing about him, and they come to Braj and uh, to kill Krishna, say with that intention.
Yes, Krishna is that killingly attractive. They come to be killed by Krishna because what else they can do? Because they are too attracted to them, according to the the sentiments, you know, sentiments of hatred or sentiment of whatever, you know, envy, sentiment of yeah. So what can they do? Krishna envies nobody. Krishna hates nobody, but they hate Krishna, so they come to be killed by him. So that is the nature of his cunning attraction. So that's why in spontaneous attraction, Krishna alone comes, and he allows reciprocation at any level one wants to have with him. So that is the magnanimity, or that is the openness with Krishna. With Narayan form, there is no openness. But in Brajalila, Krishna is open. Somebody wants to relate with him in his conjugal affairs, one can become a maid servant of Srimati Radharani. Because one has to be, in order to attain Krishna's association, one should see what is one's adhikar. So adhikar wise, we may find Krishna attractive in one of the particular rasas, and the devotees in that particular rasa engagement. So what will be our role? Our entrance into Krishna's affair in that rasa will be as an assistant. Na? That's why it's called raga, anuga. Anuga. Anuga means subservient. We want to be, our adhikar is only as a subservient participant, as a helper. As a helper to Nanda Yashoda, as a helper to Madhumangal Ityadi, as a helper to the gopis and Radharani, especially Radharani, to attain Sri Radha Darshan. So, hankering and aspiring for Radha Darshan would be our connection to the conjugal or Adi Ujjval. One should be very, very clear about our adhikar. Our seva is anugatyamai in any rasa. Our seva is not swatantriyamai. We are not eternal associate of Krishna as yet. We are part of the Tatastha Shakti, which has been separated since eternity for a purpose. You know, Krishna is a Leelamai, so he is allowing our participation in his internal affairs. And our participation is as a servant, as a helper, as a subservient to those who are in direct service of Krishna. We should not trying to jump and do direct service to Krishna. Direct service to Krishna is in the jurisdiction of those who are his eternal associates. So we become subservient to the eternal associates of the Lord. And then, by their mercy, we also get much more than we can even imagine. Bin mange moti mile, mange mile na bhik. If we insist, if we hanker for something which is not in our adhikar, we will never get it. No? But if you become subservient, if you appreciate the greater fortune of Radharani or the gopis or others, then as an assistant, we can become so confidential of Radharani that what those who even after hankering from Krishna don't get, we get, even without hankering for it. Bina mange, moti mile. Mange mile. Mangna means to beg something which is not in our adhikar. But if we don't beg for that thing, if we only beg something which is within our adhikar, adhikrit, if you hanker only for the adhikrit or authorized thing, then we can attain the status, we can get the fortune which is even not in our adhikar. But if we hanker for something which is not in our adhikar, we may never get it. That's the point. So those who hanker after Krishna independent of Srimati Radharani, or to independent of becoming subservient to Radharani, they may not get Krishna in the first. And even if they get, it could be so difficult, so painful, and Krishna is very difficult, because that is unadhikrit desire. So Krishna wants that we appreciate those who are intimately devoted to him, those who are already in loving exchange with him. So our adhikar is to come in subservience to those, one of those devotees who are already intimately related with Krishna. So if we accept the subservience of those devotees, then we get to even see Krishna without asking to see Krishna directly. Bin mange moti mile, mange mile na bhik. How to describe in English, I don't know. That's why it is in the scripture, it is so difficult to get Krishna, correct? It is so difficult to impress Krishna directly, because Krishna is already impressed by so many more. What is our capacity to impress Krishna? So Krishna reveals the secret, that find your subservience to those who have impressed me. So who has impressed Krishna the most? Radharani. So we hanker to find our subservience. We want to become a choicest maid servant of Srimati Radharani. And that is very much appreciated by Krishna. What we appreciate should not be given so much value. What Krishna appreciates must be valued the most. So Krishna will appreciate our accepting subservience to Srimati Radharani. That will impress Krishna the most. Otherwise, even after aspiring, hankering for Krishna, we may not get Krishna. But if we aspire for that which Krishna wants to give us, then we can get also Krishna. Not only that thing, not only Radha Rashyam, but also easily Krishna. So Mahaprabhu has revealed that secret. Don't go after Krishna directly. Aspire after the service of Srimati Radharani. Aspire to become a maid servant, and in subservience to the maid servant of Srimati Radharani. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari. One more question. Who is raising? Amanda.
Hare Krishna, Shri Guru Maharaj, my humble obeisances, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
All glories.
Thank you for such a beautiful class. I feel really intrigued and I feel curious. I would love to hear anything that you would like to share about your journey with coming to your Guru Maharaj. How did you know?
Very interesting question, correct? Yes, sometimes it's the causeless mercy and arrangement. In our case, especially, there is no credit whatsoever on our part, because the situation, circumstances, and everything. And but one thing I feel that causeless mercy, in the sense that I didn't have to use my intelligence in selecting my shelter of my spiritual masters, of my would-be spiritual master. Because as they say, that by the mercy of Krishna one gets the spiritual master, and by the mercy of the spiritual master one gets Krishna. This general principle which we all have heard as we join this sadhana. But again, by the mercy of Krishna, one gets the spiritual master. although this is theoretically a statement, but unless we get some revelation in the heart, this remains just a theory. So, in whatever little service we were performing in association of devotees, so this question arose about becoming initiated. And we were not at all inclined. It's a good thing to take shelter of the spiritual master and everything. Also in Vedic culture in certain area, but that was not at all any inclination to become devoted to someone in particular or anything. Because there are many stalwart devotees. And still, because it was a necessity, if you want to continue in Krishna consciousness, others also expect that if you are serious, you should become initiated. So that was, so just because it was required, although I didn't feel the hankering or special drive for it. I was not even actually interested. But still, we would see how it goes, correct? That kind of thing. So then I just inquired with one person who was close with us in the community, and he was senior to us by at least 10 years. And so I asked him, what you suggest? Then he said, oh, there are many persons who provide this initiation like this. I said, but you suggest me something. But he was hesitating to suggest anybody's name. I said, well, if you are hesitating, then there is no way I can make my choice, because I didn't want to uh, make choice with my limited source and knowledge and anything. And how much you want to go using your intelligence, how many. So it was a very cumbersome thing. Then he said one thing about my would-be spiritual master. He said, well, I know one devotee, he's a scientist, and he's from Manipur, and he was very dear to Sri. The moment he said that he was very dear to Prabhupada, of course, all the disciples are dear to his spiritual master, but somebody recognized as, even by any, he was not at all closely connected to my spiritual master remotely, but he just thought for few minutes and said, I know one person, he was very dear to Srila Prabhupada. So the moment he said he was very, some kind of shivering entered my heart, and I spontaneously spoke out. Then I want to serve him as my Srila Prabhupada. Because Srila Prabhupada's some service in the center we were there, we getting, but it was not possible to now directly meet serve Prabhupada. So someone who endeared himself to Srila Prabhupada was the next best option, correct? And well, that is the only option available. So that is the best option also, correct? So one who endeared himself to Srila Prabhupada, if I can be allowed to serve him, that would be the same experience as serving Srila Prabhupada, because the parampara continues like that. So for me, it was least uh, exercise of the intelligence, and I was spared by the mercy of Krishna. I didn't have to explore, so I didn't know who the person is. Just by this revelation, the shivering entered my heart, and I spontaneously said, "Oh, then I want to serve him as my Srila Prabhupada." So that is the thing I can share with you for your uh, for your what is the word for your
my
satisfaction.
curiosity. Oh, thank you so much. It's really, really beautiful to hear you share about this and to see the joy on your face and your eyes twinkle. Really beautiful. Thank you so much, Shri Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna, welcome.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Uh,
Yes, that much risk one must be able to take. If some revelation of joy, thrill comes in the heart, then we should not allow our intellect to interfere with it. Correct? Because if we go too much intellectually, then your selection, even if you select someone as your spiritual master, but your intelligence is greater than your spiritual master. That should not be allowed. So the selection of the spiritual master one cannot do intellectually. The intellect can always go astray, can be disturbed. So one should follow the indication in the heart. And Krishna does, there should be left no choice. It's not like a multiple choice question, or 5 candidates, pick one. Yeah. You will pick only intellectually, correct? And you will inevitably make not the best choice. That's a symptom of a conditioned soul. What is symptom of a conditioned soul? Invariably, when given the multiple options, he or she will pick not the best. And the spiritual master should not be should not be subject to our intellectuality, intellectual what is that judgment. He is our Prabhupada, so that revelation, that is possible, that perception only possible through revelation. So wait until that revelation comes in the heart of any sadhaka. If he is aspiring for shelter of the spiritual master, then one must fervently pray to Krishna to provide that revelation for someone. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Shri Guru, Pranam.
Oh, you have got well sooner, huh? So how is your health now?
Better.
Better. Okay.
Amazing class, Shri Guru. Each one of your class, each one of your sharing, Shri Guru, it's a unique diamond. Each one of your sharing contains everything. Contains the highest glory of Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Contains this very sweet message of Radha Dasyam. Shri Guru, a small question. As you were explaining today how this spontaneous bhakti is towards Lord Krishna only, not any other forms of Vishnu Murti like Lord Vishnu or Narsingadev or Lord Shri Ram. So how come Shri Guru this Raganuga Bhakti of Shri Krishna is bestowed out to mankind very rarely? Why is that only when Mahaprabhu comes for very few years, this Raganuga Bhakti is opportunity for this Raganuga Bhakti is given, and rest for how many billions of years it is not, then the whole mankind is bereft of that. Shri Guru, you are on mute.
Connection to Vrindavan is Raganuga Bhakti. In Vrindavan, everybody is connected to Krishna with Raga, not with the awe and reverence. The Krishna is God. Actually, nobody is ready to accept him as God. But he's as cute as God. Who can be more cute than God, correct? So Krishna is there cutest manifestation of God, you can say like that. And Mahaprabhu just enhanced that glory of Krishna is the cutest God, cutest form of God. That's all. So it continues. It continues then until Mahaprabhu comes, and after Mahaprabhu has come and gone, after some time, the scriptures, it's hidden, and it's a rare because it has been made possible by the work of the followers of Mahaprabhu to the most wretched, most fallen sections of society, human society. And that's why we can consider ourselves very, very fortunate. Now, why it is not available to other ages? The whole idea is what matters is what is in front of us. Why to worry about people before us and those who will come after us? We have to take care of this opportunity in this very lifetime. We can think that this rarest fortune to become connected with the Supreme in the highest mellow, Bhavollas Rati, to become confidential to Srimati Radharani. That fortune is that highest fortune in accordance to our Swarupa is made available and also attainable, possible. This conviction, this hope, this absolute hope, one can be established in. One can be situated in this absolute hope that he will attain the fortune which Mahaprabhu has come to expose. What else one needs, We have, according to time, place, and circumstances, the Lord has provided the opportunity for the living entities to attain the perfection of the human potential. So this is the latest version of God, na? So in latest version, we are here and discussing this exclusive gift of Mahaprabhu as Radha Dasyam. So let us first take care of it for ourselves, and next generations, they will be taken care of by someone else. We have to find our focus for ourselves first. Bharat bhumite hoile manushya janma sar, jar janma sarthak kari. First we have to target, our focus should be to perfect our life. We become situated in this absolute conviction that we will attain. We are heading only towards attaining Radha Dashyam. And then in the meanwhile, we can also encourage others to develop the same hankering and aspiration. All right? What is going to come in the future, that should not be our worry. We have enough to worry in our present moment. Hare Krishna.
Amazing, Shri Guru. Brilliant. Hare Krishna. Pranam, Shri Guru.
Hare Krishna. All right then. Anyone else? Or we can. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Natali is half visible.
Hare Krishna, Shri Guru, Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Sri Swamini Matayastu.
Every time you come on Zoom and you speak, every time it's like, okay, we're going so deep, and then next time we are going even deeper. So with every time you speak, you just take us by the hand and let us relish this divine message and this opportunity of Sri Radha Dasyam. And if we can only stay focused, then you will take us all the way by your causeless mercy. Hare Krishna.
Well, it's a both ways, na? Just as Mahaprabhu has come so magnanimously, so udar, so openly, then one should also be to become open to receive it, no? Both hands. So from one side is being given, and we have to also receive. So thank you for becoming such a liberal recipient. Hmm? Stay tuned in and stay liberal. We cannot, there's no need to become miserly in receiving, correct? Have you ever heard somebody miserly in receiving? One can be miserly in giving, correct? So if the giver is not miser, why the recipient should be? That's the point. But the, the sad situation in most recipients are miser. That's the big paradox, isn't it? So how many paradoxes we have to address on this path? My father used to say, Vachanahi kim daridata. He still says, that one can be liberal and polite and kind in the words at least, and expressing of the words, One may not be very rich, one may not be very opulent or magnanimous because of short of his funds or means. But everyone can be liberal or noble or rich in expressing the words, correct? We can speak nicely, sweetly, honorably, lovingly, soothingly, whatever. Nobody, we are not charged to speak liberally and nicely. So why should one become miserly in speaking like that? So in the same way, why one has to be miser in receiving if so much treasure is coming, the person who is giving so liberally? At least we can match his liberality as much with as much liberality Mahaprabhu is giving. At least we can be liberal enough to receive it. That's all. He's not asking to be liberal in giving. Just be liberal in receiving. That's all. What could be more? Correct? Nithai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. So in next sitting, we will have the internal aspects of this shloka. This was just is expressed. What is this depth? To what depth, and in our personal life, how this shloka ultimately connects to the heart of Krishna. Because in this shloka, just to give a background, Mahaprabhu in Chaitanya Charitamrita is praying, प्रेम धन बिनाय दरिद्र जीवन दास करी वेतन मोरे देहो प्रेम धन. This shloka will be expanded upon to know the the sweetest internal aspects of this sloka. This goes very deep, and it will require a full session, hopefully. All right? Because he's considering himself bereft of love. Prema bina, prema dhana bina a daridra jivan. I'm destitute. Without the treasure of love for you, prema dhana bina a daridra jivan. I'm in destitute. So what he is wanting in this this shloka, why he is hankering this kind of ecstasy of love? Because if he can have love, then if Krishna accepts him, prem dhana binay dasa kari, accept me in your personal service. Dasa kari vetan more. Vetan means remuneration. If somebody does some job, he gets a reward, correct? Paycheck. So Mahaprabhu is asking, Dasakari, accept me in your service. Dasakari vetan more. Vetan means paycheck. More to me. Deho premadhan. In a paycheck, give me love for you. So that should be our attitude also. In fervently crying out to Krishna, in hankering for the real thing. So it will same shloka, but on a internal prayer. What Mahaprabhu's heart is hankering after as a sadhaka, like that. All right? Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Amanda?
Hare Krishna Shri Guru. I remembered that I wanted to thank you for the shloka that you gave me last week, because when I first read it,
Mm-hmm.
it was really very, very special. It was literally encapsulating everything that has been the biggest meditation for me over the last 10 years, all in one place.
Okay. Yeah. So we value anything only as much as we appreciate. Correct? So appraisal could be different by different candidates. So if your appraisal is on the absolute level, then you get absolute benefit. Potentially, it is absolute. Every shloka of Bhagavatam is absolute in value, but it depends on the recipient. At what level one is able to appreciate it. That's wonderful to know.
Could you expand a little bit, please, on this?
On this?
What you mean?
Yeah, so in association, in satsang, what happens? We raise our capacity to appreciate the transcendental nature of the thing. So if somebody is able to appreciate something much more than us, and if we associate it with such a person, then we also, because association is possible only through faith. No? Satsang is the perfection of satsang is gauged in accordance to our faith in the person we associate with. Makes sense? So if a person expresses greater appreciation for something, and if you have faith in that person, then our appreciation for the same thing can also be enhanced to the same level. So that is the effect of satsang. So for 10 years, we maybe have developed a certain level of faith in something. And after 10 years, if we come across a person whose faith is at much greater level, then If we have faith in that person, we can also upgrade our appreciations of the thing, because somebody has that level of appreciation. So this is how one benefits, and ultimately, at what level we become connected to the person. At what level means at what level of faith we appraise the status of the person. Accordingly, we can benefit. So it depends on one's appraisal. What you think, how blessed is the person we are associating with. So if our appreciation for the person reaches the absolute level, then our perception of that person or appraisal of that person is as most blessed. So the most blessed is a very subjective concept, you know. The most blessed never claims to be most blessed. It is a perception of the of someone, you know, and it's a very subjective thing, correct? It's like falling in love. When you fall in love with someone, that person appears as the most blessed or most sweet, isn't so? In the same way, especially in this spiritual culture, our perfection, the level of our perfection correlates with the level of our appreciation, appreciation appreciation of the person we associate with. Do you get it, what I say?
Yes, it's very beautiful. Thank you so much for expanding on that.
Hare Krishna, anytime, welcome.
Hare
Nitai Gaur
Krishna.
Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.
Fascinating, Shri Guru. As the Manjaris, they witness live the interactions between Radha and Sham Sundar, Swamini and Sham Sundar, and how it goes and the back and forth and all. Shri, it is so transcendental, it is so sweet, sublime, divine. Hearing from you pure Hari Katha, pure Krishna Katha, and kind of responding to our questions, answers, or how you interact and deal with us, and witnessing that brings so much joy, Shri Guru. Unlimited, cannot put it in words, Shri Guru. Koti Koti Pranam, Shri Guru.
Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. We'll join you all in 1 hour in sweet Kirtan.
We all chant 3 times Hare Krishna Mahamantra from the core of our hearts for the pleasure of our dear most Shri Guru. Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. With all heart, all love, we call out His Divine Grace Bhaktisvarupa Govind Maharaj ki Jai.
Nitai Gaur Bhaktavinda ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari 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 Bol. Gaur
कोटि
Preman.
कोटि धन्यवाद श्री गुरु प्रणाम श्री गुरु
Hare Krishna, welcome. Sri Swamini Matirastu.
प्रणाम श्री गुरु हरे कृष्ण
Hare Krishna, Gaur Premanande.
Hare Krishna, Shri Guru Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Sri Swamini Matirastu. Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari 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 Bol.
Pranam, Shri Guru.
See you all in the Kirtan.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam. Shri Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Sri Swamini Matirastu. Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.